Chosen one. Listen carefully. Heaven has pressed pause on everything around you because this message is not a coincidence. It is a divine interruption. You were not meant to scroll past this moment. You were meant to hear this right now. On this very Monday, the Spirit of God is saying, do not ignore this day. Then, you stand at the edge of something sacred. This Monday is not just another square on a calendar. It is a divine gate. It carries an unseen key that can unlock what you have been praying for. Yet, if you ignore it, what God was about to give you could be delayed or even lost. This is why the enemy attacks your Mondays so fiercely. He knows that if he can steal the start, he can sabotage the story. You can feel it deep inside. This isn't an ordinary day. Heaven is trying to get your attention. The atmosphere is heavy with purpose. Every time you think, I'll start later, something in your spirit pushes back, whispering, do it now. That is not your own voice. That is the Spirit of God reminding you that divine timing is attached to obedience. The Word of God declares in the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 9, how long will you lie there, you sluggard? When will you get up from your sleep? These words echo through the ages like thunder. They are not meant to shame you, but to awaken you. God is saying, wake up, chosen one. I have scheduled something for you this day, but I cannot bless what you refuse to begin. This Monday carries more than tasks and deadlines. It carries assignments. Angels have been dispatched, and divine opportunities are waiting for you to act. If you delay, they will wait no longer. God moves through moments, and this moment is one of them. You prayed for a sign, and this is it. Heaven is saying, rise. You are not fighting against time. You are fighting against distraction. The enemy knows he cannot destroy you, so he distracts you instead, filling your mind with comfort, fear, and delay. But every time you say, I'll do it later, something in the spirit realm closes. Do not let your later become the reason for your loss. You have been asking why doors seem to open and then shut, why momentum fades just as you begin. The truth is simple. Divine timing requires divine discipline. Mondays are sacred beginnings. When you rise early, pray, plan, and act, heaven aligns things in your favor. When you delay, the flow is interrupted. You are not meant to dread Mondays. You are meant to dominate them. The world sees a day of weariness. Heaven sees a day of warfare. And today, you are called to win that war. Rise from the heaviness. Shake off the excuses. Step into order. Because when you move, heaven moves with you. There is a fire in your spirit that cannot be extinguished. You were never meant to blend in with those who complain and drift through the start of the week. You were meant to set the tone. You were meant to walk into Monday carrying divine authority, commanding your atmosphere to align with God's will. Chosen one. Look around you. Every breakthrough you have prayed for is waiting for your movement. God does not bless hesitation. He blesses obedience. You have been asking for new doors, but heaven is asking for new discipline. This is not about perfection. It is about posture. A heart ready to obey. A spirit ready to act. You may think it's just another sunrise, but in the spirit realm, this Monday has been written in heaven's record as a turning point. The decisions you make today will echo through your week, your month, and even your destiny. The smallest step of obedience can open the largest door of favor. Stop doubting what you hear. That inner pull is confirmation. That restlessness is God trying to wake you up before opportunity passes. You are being called to move, not next week, not tomorrow now. Because what you build today will become the foundation for the miracles of tomorrow. So, take this moment seriously. Heaven is speaking through this very message. You are not alone in this. You are surrounded by witnesses cheering for your obedience. Angels are ready to go before you, but they wait for your command, your decision, your yes. Now, before you scroll away, do this one act of faith. Like, share, subscribe, and comment 777 below as a prophetic declaration that you will no longer ignore what God has called you to do on this day. Let that number be a sign that you are aligning yourself with divine completion. No more delay. No more wandering. No more wasted Mondays. This is your moment. The heavens are open. Monday is your gate. Step through it. Chosen one. You feel it in the air, the weight of time pressing gently but firmly against your soul. Every second carries meaning now. Heaven is whispering that delay has become a thief in your story. You've wondered why the blessings spoken over you have felt suspended, just out of reach. It is not that God has forgotten. It is that you have paused where He called you to move. There is a rhythm in creation, a pulse in the fabric of time itself. You can sense it when you wake. That faint stirring that tells you something must begin today. Yet often, hesitation wraps itself around you like fog, soft enough to seem harmless, but thick enough to blind you from your assignment. We find in the sacred writings of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, "To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven." This is the law of divine timing, the principle that everything God births has a moment appointed for manifestation. You cannot plant in winter and expect a summer harvest. You cannot sleep through the morning and hope to see the sunrise. When heaven calls a season, it requires your alignment, not your delay. You have prayed for miracles, but God answers with moments. Each one is a seed of possibility. The enemy knows this, which is why he attacks not your faith, but your focus. He's on distraction, small diversions, emotions that tell you to wait just a little longer. But delay, when repeated, becomes disobedience dressed as patience. Time is sacred. Chosen one. It is not your enemy. It is your test. Every tick of the clock is a question whispered from heaven. Will you move when I say move, and when you hesitate? You are not simply losing hours. You are losing alignment. Remember how many times your spirit stirred, yet you silenced it with logic. You told yourself you weren't ready. But readiness is rarely felt. It is chosen. God does not wait for you to feel prepared. He waits for your obedience. You cannot keep asking for His timing while ignoring the moment He has already given. The weight of delay is subtle at first. It feels harmless to say, tomorrow. But tomorrow is a thief that steals the strength of today. One missed moment becomes a habit, and that habit becomes a lifestyle of postponing destiny. You begin to convince yourself that your dreams are too far, when in truth, they are only one act of obedience away. There is a reason heaven marks seasons. Every purpose has a window, and once it closes, even your passion can't reopen it. That is why this moment matters. God is calling you to learn the discipline of divine pace, to stop running ahead and stop falling behind, but to move in step with His Spirit. When you delay, you disrupt the flow of favor meant to carry you. When you act outside His timing, you exhaust yourself, chasing what He would have delivered. But when you align, everything begins to flow with ease. Opportunities start to find you. Resources appear at the right time. People who once ignored you begin to recognize your light. Heaven is reminding you today that obedience is not just about doing what is right, it is about doing it when it is right. The kingdom operates on timing as much as truth. Even Jesus waited for the fullness of time before revealing His purpose. If the Son of God respected seasons, how much more must you? Yet do not let guilt weigh you down. Grace is still moving. The door has not yet closed. The Spirit of God is simply saying, move now before the window narrows. You are being drawn back into divine rhythm, where everything flows. Not from struggle, but from surrender. Breathe in. This is not pressure, it is purpose calling. The same God who set the stars in motion has scheduled your destiny with precision. You are not late. You are being awakened. The delay ends when you decide to move. When you choose to move in God's timing, heaven responds instantly. What once felt heavy becomes light. Every step you take in obedience becomes a signal to heaven. I am ready now. Alignment replaces anxiety. The atmosphere around you begins to shift. Doors that were once sealed start to open effortlessly. The strength you lacked suddenly fills you. Because grace always meets movement. Never hesitation. This is divine flow. So rise. Chosen one. The waiting season ends when faith walks forward. Time is no longer your enemy. It becomes your servant. Move with heaven's rhythm, and watch delay bow before destiny's command. Chosen one. The air is charged with holy tension. You can sense it, the divine calendar, turning another page. Heaven is whispering again, softly but firmly, move. For the moment is now. You've come to understand that delay steals more than time, it steals authority. And this authority must now be reclaimed. When you ignore the call of divine timing, the weight of what could have been begins to hover around you. You feel it as restlessness, as a silent ache in your spirit. You wonder why peace seems distant. Yet the answer is simple. You cannot find rest while resisting motion. God's peace is not found in standing still, but in walking with Him. Heaven has been trying to teach you that waiting and wasting are not the same. Waiting is trust. Wasting is disobedience. You have been entrusted with gifts, assignments, words of power, and they are not meant to remain dormant. There is a time to pray, and there is a time to act. This is the time to act. As the Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I set you apart. Those words are not for ancient ears alone. They are echoing now for you. You were set apart for such a moment as this. Every test, every heartbreak, every lonely night was shaping you into someone who could carry glory without breaking under its weight. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. Look at how many times heaven has preserved you. You should have been lost, forgotten, overlooked, but you were not. The reason is simple. Purpose refused to let you die. There is still work to be done. Still a story heaven wants to write through your obedience. But the ink of destiny only flows when the pen of action moves. You may not feel ready, but readiness is a lie the enemy uses to delay the obedient. You are equipped. You are already carrying everything you need for the next step. The doors you fear will not open until you stand before them. The waters you dread will not part until you step in. Faith is motion. Fear is paralysis. Heaven always sides with motion. Think of how many lives are waiting on your yes. Every delay does not only affect you, it delays others connected to your assignment. Someone's hope is tied to your obedience. Someone's breakthrough is hidden inside your step. You cannot stay silent any longer. You cannot keep hiding under the excuse of preparation. Heaven is already prepared. You are the one being positioned. The weight of heaven's urgency is not punishment. It is mercy. God is saying, I'm giving you another chance to act. Every minute from this moment forward is a sacred opportunity to realign with His purpose. He will not force you, but He will remind you, again and again, that delay and destiny cannot coexist. Now, take a breath and let this truth settle. The pain of discipline is always lighter than the pain of regret. You will never regret obedience. But hesitation, it lingers like a shadow long after the chance has passed. That is why heaven speaks to you with such intensity. It is trying to save you from later tears. Pause for a moment. Feel that stirring again. That's your sign. Heaven is inviting you into alignment. Act on it. Move with it. And speak it into existence. Now, write in the comments below, I move now. Oh, type it as a prophetic act. Not as words, but as a declaration. When you say it, heaven records it. When you type it, you break the agreement with delay. It is your way of saying, I refuse to let another opportunity die in waiting. Oh, the winds of timing are shifting. Move with them. The rest of your story depends on what you do next. When you declare, I move now, you are not typing empty words. You are igniting a spiritual contract. Heaven hears it as surrender, as willingness, as readiness to obey without hesitation or fear. Each syllable becomes movement in the spirit realm. Angels record your confession as permission to act on your behalf. The moment you move, unseen doors begin to swing open in divine synchronization. The act of speaking faith breaks the paralysis of doubt. What once held you captive loses its power. Every delay, every fear, every mental chain begins to crumble under divine momentum. This declaration shifts identity. You are no longer the one who waits. You become the one who walks, the one who acts, the one whose obedience accelerates destiny into visible manifestation. Chosen one. The air feels heavier now, not with burden, but with awareness. You begin to understand that distraction is not just noise, it is a weapon. Every whisper that says, you can do it later, is a seed planted to choke divine timing. The spirit of distraction does not come to steal your blessings outright. It comes to dull your sensitivity, so you stop hearing heaven's rhythm. You have noticed it, haven't you? Every time you set your heart to act, something trivial pulls your attention away. A message, a thought, a sudden feeling of tiredness. That is not coincidence, it is opposition. The forces that fear your awakening will do anything to keep you entertained, exhausted, or emotionally scattered, because a distracted chosen one is a delayed chosen one. You were created to live with spiritual precision. Heaven never meant for you to wander aimlessly from one distraction to another. Every moment is sacred. Yet distraction disguises itself as harmless habit. It turns minutes into hours, hours into lost opportunities. It tells you that small compromises do not matter, but they do. Destiny is built on what you decide in quiet moments. There is a war for your focus. Your calling is too powerful to go uncontested. That is why the enemy never fights you directly. He simply keeps you busy. He knows that if he can fill your mind with noise, he doesn't need to destroy you. You will silence yourself. The Spirit of God is whispering, guard your attention, for what you focus on will grow. You cannot carry the fire of purpose while feeding on the ashes of distraction. You cannot pray for clarity while nurturing confusion. Every moment you give to things that don't feed your purpose becomes energy stolen from what could have been fruitful. Look back for a moment, not with guilt, but with awareness. How many divine ideas were delayed because you were too preoccupied with lesser things? How many times did you feel the urge to begin, yet you scrolled instead of started? This isn't condemnation, it is revelation. Heaven is showing you the root, so you can cut it. Distraction often hides behind good intentions. It doesn't always look sinful, it sometimes looks responsible. You tell yourself you're just organizing, just researching, just preparing. But behind those tasks can hide avoidance. You convince yourself that busyness equals progress, when in truth, movement without direction is motion without meaning. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians that everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. That truth pierces deeply here. You can do many things, but only one thing will unlock destiny in this season. Heaven is calling you to simplify, to strip away every unnecessary noise until your focus becomes sharp as light through glass. You were designed to walk in divine clarity. That is why distraction feels heavy in your spirit. It is unnatural to who you are. Every time you drift, something inside you aches, because the chosen cannot feel peace in confusion. The Holy Spirit will keep stirring your heart until you return to the work assigned to you. The moment you fix your focus again, heaven realigns everything around you. The fog begins to lift. The noise grows quieter. You start hearing the still, small voice, more clearly the same voice that guided prophets, led kings, and sustained apostles. It whispers to you now, not in thunder, but in truth. Do the one thing I told you to do. And that's where your strength lies. Not in trying to do everything, but in doing the one thing that heaven has marked for you. The discipline of focus is not punishment, it is freedom. It releases you from the chaos of distraction and binds you to the calm of purpose. You may lose certain comforts in the process. Some conversations, habits, or relationships will fade away. But do not mourn them. They were never meant to carry the weight of your destiny. As you let go, you will feel lighter, faster, clearer. You are not losing, you are being refined. Chosen one. Heaven is not asking for perfection, it is asking for attention. Fix your gaze, guard your focus, because what you watch, you become. And when your eyes are fixed on the assignment, the enemy loses all leverage. In this silence, listen again to that gentle inner voice. It is still calling, still inviting you back to purpose. The noise fades, the fog clears, and suddenly you realize distraction was never stronger than you. It was only louder. Now, you are learning to hear beyond the noise. You are learning to live by divine focus, to let heaven's rhythm guide your steps again. And in that stillness, destiny begins to move forward. Chosen one. This moment feels gentler, doesn't it? Like a sunrise after a long night. You can almost feel heaven exhale around you, as if creation itself is relieved that you chose to keep listening, to keep walking. This is how grace feels when it begins to settle. The rush quiets, the noise fades, and your soul finally begins to breathe again. This Monday, this message, this journey, it's not just a story. It's a reminder that your life still holds sacred purpose. The past weeks have not been wasted. Even your struggles were rehearsals for what's coming. God was not absent. He was teaching you how to move when the wind shifts. You are learning to recognize His timing, His rhythm, His gentle pull towards something greater. And now, the Spirit whispers softly, do not lose momentum. Because the truth is, the spiritual battle does not end when you awaken, it begins there. The moment you decide to obey, distractions multiply, resistance rises, and the old comfort tries to pull you back. But every time you push through, heaven records your faithfulness. Remember, obedience is a language heaven understands. It speaks louder than your words, louder than your fears. When you obey, you are saying to God, I trust you more than my comfort. That one decision can shift the atmosphere of your entire life. The Word of God declares through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 37, verse 5, commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will act. That's what you're doing right now, committing your way, step by step. You're not rushing, not forcing, just trusting that every faithful movement forward will lead you where you need to go. Chosen one. This message is not just for your mind, it's for your heart. Sometimes God uses simple words like these to rebuild what the world tried to break. If something in this message has touched you, if you felt that quiet confirmation deep in your spirit, then know this: you are already part of something divine. And if you've been blessed by this voice, this flow of messages that lift and guide, then consider something beautiful becoming part of the light that keeps it shining. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you're not just helping a channel, you're helping a mission continue. You're saying, this message matters. Let it reach another soul like me. You become part of the unseen hands that keep the light burning in dark places. And if you ever feel led in your heart to give, let it be a gift of gratitude, not obligation. Think of it as oil in the lamp. The flame doesn't demand it, it simply welcomes it. Together they make light. Every like becomes a spark. Every share, a breeze. Every subscription, another wick catching fire. And if your heart chooses to give, even the smallest gift becomes a drop of light falling into an ocean of hope. When you sow into what God is breathing on, you're not paying for words, you're participating in a movement of light. It's never about transaction, it's about transformation. Your like, your share, your subscription, your offering, these are the gentle ways heaven multiplies the message. They keep the river of revelation flowing, carrying hope to hearts you may never meet. And if your heart whispers to plant a seed, perhaps through a small donation, or heartfelt prayer, or simply sharing this message forward, do it freely. Let it rise from gratitude, not pressure. Giving is not a price, it's a partnership. Think of it this way: each act of kindness is like placing another candle in a dark room. The light grows brighter, warmer, reaching further than you can see. And one day, someone you will never meet will find that light and whisper, "Thank you." So, from the depths of this message to your heart, thank you for being here, for listening, for carrying this light forward. You are not just a listener, you are a keeper of the flame. And as long as the flame burns, hope will never fade. Each small act of support becomes a heartbeat in this divine story. What you nurture today, heaven multiplies tomorrow. Light always returns brighter to the hands that shared it. You are not just passing through this message, you are shaping its journey. Every echo of kindness you release will one day circle back, wrapped in unexpected grace. So keep the flame alive. Chosen one, let generosity, love, and faith be your rhythm. For every seed you plant here, heaven promises a harvest beyond sight. Chosen one, can you feel how time itself has slowed around this moment? The air seems charged with unseen electricity, a quiet anticipation hovering as heaven prepares another turning point. You've crossed the battle of distraction, learned to guard your focus. And now a new challenge appears, not external, but within your own mind. This is the battlefield few can see, but everyone must face. It's not fought with swords or shields, but with thoughts, choices, and beliefs. Your greatest victories or defeats are not determined by what happens around you, but by what happens inside you. The Spirit of God is whispering, the battle has shifted to your mind. There are voices that echo there, the voice of fear, the voice of doubt, the voice that says, "You've failed too many times." They grow louder when you start to move in obedience. The enemy cannot touch your destiny, so he poisons your perception. If he convinces you that you are too late or too broken, you'll stop walking where God called you to stand boldly. But heaven says otherwise. You are not too late or too far gone. Your battle in the mind is not a sign of weakness. It is proof that something powerful is being born. The Word of God declares in the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good, acceptable, and perfect will of God." Transformation begins here, in the quiet space between your ears. Every renewed thought becomes a brick laid in the foundation of your future. Every time you replace fear with faith, you reclaim a piece of your promised land. Heaven watches your inner war with tenderness. God does not judge your mental battles. He strengthens you through them. Each time you choose peace instead of panic, the kingdom advances within you. The enemy's strategy is subtle. He whispers half-truths to twist your perception of who you are. He reminds you of your past, hoping you'll forget your prophecy. But God reminds you, your past was meant to refine, not define you. When the mind grows weary, the spirit must rise. You do not fight thoughts with thoughts, you fight them with truth. Speak life even when your emotions rebel. Say aloud until heaven hears, "I am chosen. I am equipped. I am loved." You are standing at the edge of a mental shift. Heaven is about to replace the storm in your head with stillness in your heart. It begins when you believe your mind belongs to God, not to fear or guilt. Let this truth settle. What you focus on grows. If you water worry, it blooms into chaos. If you feed faith, it rises like a garden of peace. Heaven invites you into renewal. Breathe deeply. Exhale every lie that told you you're not enough. Inhale grace. Let the Spirit rewrite the language of your thoughts. You are entering a season where your inner world will reflect divine order. Clarity replaces confusion. Purpose silences panic. The thoughts that once haunted you now serve you. They become reminders of how far grace carried you. Now, as a prophetic act of agreement, comment 330 v'shlosh below. Type it not as routine, but as declaration flowing from faith. The number 333 carries the weight of divine wholeness. It mirrors the heartbeat of heaven, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit working in perfect harmony. When you write it, you're not just typing digits, you are opening a door of alignment. It symbolizes agreement, restoration, and divine balance, returning to your inner world. Each 3 stands for grace, 1 for your past, forgiven, 1 for your present, guided, 1 for your future, secured. So when you comment 333, you declare, I align my thoughts with heaven's order. I choose peace over panic. I let the Trinity govern my mind and restore clarity. Imagine it glowing softly, like 3 flames burning in rhythm. Mind, spirit, and purpose moving together again. Heaven reads that number as surrender, as faith in motion. Chosen one, you have fought silently, endured faithfully. Now heaven says, rest your mind, for I am renewing it. Walk forward, clear in vision, steady in heart. The battle in your mind is not defeat, it's the doorway to your next victory. Each 3 carries a promise, past, present, future, wrapped in grace. The first restores what was broken. The second strengthens what remains. The third opens the door to what's coming. When you write 333, heaven hears harmony, mind, body, and spirit reuniting with divine rhythm. It's not a number, it's heaven's signature on your renewal, sealing your thoughts in peace. Chosen one, the days are beginning to move differently now. You may not notice it with your eyes, but in the spirit, something subtle has shifted. The pace of heaven is gathering around your steps. You are no longer walking through delay, you are stepping into divine timing. Yet with this awakening comes a new warning. The enemy's tactics are changing. He no longer tries to make you stop, now he tries to make you rush. If he cannot trap you in hesitation, he will push you into haste. Both are dangerous, for both pull you away from God's rhythm. Delay steals through apathy, haste steals through impulse. Divine timing, however, walks in quiet balance, neither too early nor too late. Heaven is teaching you the wisdom of still steps, not frozen steps, but focused ones. You are being trained to move only when the Spirit breathes, to act not from anxiety, but from alignment. The old version of you acted to escape fear. The new you acts to fulfill purpose. There is a difference. You may have noticed how the world celebrates speed, fast results, instant success, constant movement. But in the kingdom, delay and development often look the same. God hides growth inside stillness. When you seem to be waiting, heaven is actually working. Every pause has a purpose. Every silence is strategic. It was written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 15. In returning and rest, you shall be saved. In quietness and confidence shall be your strength. This is the heartbeat of divine timing. Strength is not always shown in action. Sometimes it is proven in restraint. To wait when your flesh wants to rush is to declare, "My faith is stronger than my fear." Ems, chosen one. Understand this. Divine timing is not a delay, it's a design. God is weaving something precise in your story. What seems late is actually layered. What feels paused is being perfected. When heaven aligns events, it does not look for speed, it looks for sequence. If one piece falls out of order, the blessing cannot land where it's meant to. Think of how seasons work. Spring never argues with winter to begin early. The soil must soften. The frost must melt. The seed must wait. When its appointed time comes, the earth itself cannot hold back its growth. So it is with you. The ground of your life is shifting beneath divine command. Your harvest will not be late, it will be right. There were moments when you thought God had forgotten you, but He was only preparing the stage so the right people, places, and timing would align. Heaven is never in a hurry, because what it builds lasts forever. You, chosen one, are being trained for eternal things, not temporary applause. Patience in the kingdom is not weakness, it's prophecy. Every time you wait with faith, you are declaring, "I believe God is still working even when I cannot see it." That declaration terrifies darkness because it proves you are no longer controlled by circumstances. Look back and notice, had some doors opened earlier, they would have crushed you. Had certain people stayed, they would have slowed you. God's delays were actually His protection in disguise. The same closed doors you once mourned were heaven's way of keeping your path clear for what's ahead. So now, as you walk through this week, learn to listen more than you move. The Spirit's guidance is not always loud. It's often a whisper that says, "Not yet," or "Now." Obedience is not about doing more, it's about doing only what heaven commands. You are becoming a vessel of precision, not panits. You are learning to measure your steps by revelation, not reaction. This maturity is what separates the called from the chosen. Do not despise stillness. In stillness, God speaks secrets He does not share with the hurried. In quietness, He gives strategy. Sometimes He slows you, not to punish you, but to position you. Chosen one. What you once called waiting is now becoming wisdom. You are beginning to sense when to move and when to rest. This is the rhythm of kingdom living. You are being synchronized with heaven's calendar, walking in step with divine design. Soon, you will realize that every delay was training, every silence was shaping, and every pause was proof that heaven trusted you enough to wait. You are not late, you are aligned. You are not behind, you are being built. And when the next door opens, it will not open halfway. It will swing wide, because you waited rightly. Chosen one. The silence that follows obedience often feels strange. You expect immediate reward. Instant confirmation. Some visible sign that heaven has noticed your faithfulness. Yet what greets you is quiet. You finish praying, and nothing stirs. You make the right choice, and the atmosphere feels unchanged. This is where most give up, because they mistake heaven's silence for heaven's absence. But silence, in truth, is one of God's most powerful languages. Heaven speaks in echoes and pauses. Just as the space between heartbeats sustains life, the still intervals between divine words sustain faith. When you hear nothing, it does not mean God has stopped speaking. It means He is waiting for you to walk out what He already said. The quiet between instructions is where trust matures. Heaven speaks through the words of Habakkuk. Chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not delay. Those words hold more than comfort, they contain order. The appointed time is fixed, even when it feels far. The vision you carry is not lost. It is simply traveling through the unseen corridors of divine process. When God hides, He is not gone. When He delays, He is not denying. He is shaping both the promise and the person meant to hold it. You must understand. Chosen one, that silence is sacred. It is the furnace where deeper strength is forged. It exposes what noise once concealed. When God is quiet, everything else inside you begins to speak your fear, your faith, your motives, your wounds. The stillness brings clarity. It separates what is of heaven from what is of haste. Sometimes you will hear nothing because God has already spoken, and He will not repeat Himself just to comfort doubt. He waits for obedience to finish its work. Other times, His silence is protection. If He told you everything now, your heart might run ahead of His timing. So He says nothing, allowing patience to carve maturity in you. Think of the seed buried beneath soil. It does not hear the gardener's voice once it's covered. It hears only silence and pressure. Yet within that darkness, it breaks open, stretches, and begins to rise. That same silence you fear is the atmosphere where hidden growth takes place. Chosen one. This season is not punishment, it is preparation. Heaven has drawn a circle around your name and placed you in divine stillness so your roots can deepen. What looks like delay is development. God cannot elevate what has not been stabilized, and silence is the anchor that steadies the soul. In this stillness, learn the art of listening beyond sound. Pay attention to small shifts, the way peace suddenly fills a room, the way a verse stands out as if it were written only for you, the way an ordinary sunrise feels like a promise. These are God's whispers disguised as normal moments. The more you quiet your heart, the louder heaven becomes. Stillness does not mean doing nothing, it means doing only what matters. When you focus on obedience instead of outcome, God begins to move in ways you cannot see. Many times, the silence comes before acceleration. Just as the sky stills before a storm, heaven pauses before breakthrough. The still air is not emptiness, it's pressure gathering for release. Do not misread it. Stillness is not the end of motion, it's the moment before momentum. You are learning to be content in the quiet because you are being trusted with greater sound. Those who can endure silence will one day carry words that shake nations. This is why your training feels heavy. It's preparing you for weightier glory. The silence of God is not rejection, it's refinement. In it, you discover the difference between wanting His hand and seeking His heart. When you no longer panic during quiet seasons, you have entered maturity. That is when heaven can entrust you with revelation that noise could never deliver. So, if the room feels still and heaven feels distant, remember this: the teacher always stays silent during the test, not because he left, but because he trusts you to apply what he already taught. This silence is not empty, it's sacred. It holds the rhythm of creation, the breath of God, before He speaks new worlds into being. If you can rest in that rhythm, you will never fear quiet again. Chosen one. Hold your peace. You are not being ignored. You are being instructed. The quiet is not a pause in your story. It is the paragraph where meaning deepens. Let the silence speak. It is saying more than words ever could. Chosen one. The silence is beginning to break. You've walked through distraction, battled your thoughts, endured stillness, and now something in the atmosphere begins to hum again. Heaven is moving, quietly but powerfully, as though divine machinery has begun to turn in your favor. You may not yet see it, but deep in your spirit, you can feel it a stirring that says, "It's time." This is the moment when the unseen becomes seen. The prayers you whispered months ago are unfolding, piece by piece, like dawn spreading its light across the edge of night. God has been working behind curtains you didn't even know existed. Every delay, every silence, every not yet was leading to this movement. The answers were never denied. They were simply being assembled. You are standing in what heaven calls the in-between, the space between promise spoken and promise fulfilled. It's a holy tension, a sacred suspense. You sense something breaking open, but you can't quite name it. That's because God often lets you feel a shift before He lets you see it. According to what is revealed in the letter to the Galatians, Chapter 6, Verse 9, let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we shall reap, if we do not give up. This is your due season, chosen one. The soil beneath your feet is trembling with harvest. The very ground that once felt barren is now pregnant with life. Your faith, your tears, your obedience, they were never wasted. They have been seeds buried in divine timing. And now heaven says, it's time to rise. 17. But hear this truth carefully. Breakthrough rarely comes dressed in glory first. It often arrives wrapped in responsibility. When new doors open, they require new discipline. When new blessings appear, they call for greater stewardship. The reward for faithfulness is not rest, it's trust. God is trusting you with more, because He knows you've learned to handle little. You can feel the tension between waiting and walking. Heaven says, move. But your mind whispers, what if? This is where courage must take the lead. You cannot stay standing at the edge of answered prayer, afraid to step into it. The time for hesitation has passed. God is calling you to act, to build, to speak, to begin again, but this time, not by sight, by certainty. Certainty doesn't come from knowing every detail. It comes from knowing the one who directs them. You are not moving blindly. You are moving faithfully. Heaven goes before you. The path may look unfamiliar, but your steps are being guided with precision. Every detour, every delay, every disappointment has brought you right here to the intersection of obedience and fulfillment. And now, heaven pauses once more, watching how you'll respond, because this moment isn't just about receiving blessing, it's about releasing declaration. Your words shape the atmosphere around your destiny. Speak life. Speak faith. Speak as one who has already seen the promise fulfilled. Now, type these words below as a seal upon your faith. It's happening. 1. Write it as an act of belief, not description. You're not predicting the future. You're agreeing with heaven's present tense. When you say, it's happening, you're proclaiming that the invisible is taking form. that what was delayed is now released, that you refuse to live as if your promise is still pending. Say it and let it echo through your spirit. It's happening in my life, in my mind, in my path. Every angel assigned to your purpose moves when you declare it. Every locked door begins to sense pressure from heaven's side. Every shadow begins to lose its shape under light. This declaration is not wishful, it's prophetic. Heaven doesn't respond to begging, it responds to belief. When you declare, "It's happening," you are not informing God. You are reminding creation of its assignment toward you. Chosen one. This is not motivation, it's manifestation. What you have endured has earned you authority. What you have survived has trained your voice to speak with weight. You no longer hope timidly, you decree boldly. Look around you. The pieces are aligning, the timing is merging, and what once seemed impossible is quietly becoming real. This is what it feels like when faith finally catches up with fulfillment. Now, let the world catch up with what heaven already knows. You're stepping into the very thing you once prayed for. It's happening. When you speak, it's happening. Heaven records it as faith in motion. The phrase becomes a bridge between what was promised and what now manifests before your eyes. Each word carries agreement. It's declares the presence of divine action. Happening seals that it is unfolding now. Together, they summon unseen alignment, where heaven's design finally touches earth through your belief. Chosen one. Look around, the horizon of your life is beginning to shift. The light that once felt far away now paints the edges of your path with soft gold. Heaven is not silent anymore, it is humming, moving, arranging. The season that once whispered, "Wait," now begins to say, "Walk." And as you take that first step, grace rushes to meet you. This is divine acceleration, not the rush of the world, but the steady surge of heaven, measured, purposeful, unstoppable. Every delay has become a doorway. Every obstacle now serves as a bridge. You are no longer trudging through mud. You are moving with the wind of destiny at your back. The prophet Isaiah once proclaimed, chapter 42, verse 31, "They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles." That is what you are feeling now, the lifting, the rising, the heavy wings of past seasons stretching again. You are not running on exhaustion anymore. You are soaring on renewal. And as you rise, you begin to see what you could not see from the ground, that everything, even the painful pauses, was part of the climb. Divine acceleration doesn't mean chaos, it means clarity. You begin to sense what truly matters. Some doors swing wide, others close quietly. No longer meant for you. Some people drift away, others appear as if they were waiting on the next chapter of your obedience. The wind of God never wastes direction, it only carries what's light enough to fly. But even in acceleration, there's something sacred about gratitude. You don't run ahead of God, you run with Him. Every step forward becomes a thank you for the grace that got you here. And when gratitude fuels motion, heaven multiplies it. Chosen one. Pause for a moment. Feel that gratitude rise in you. Every message that has strengthened you, every word that lifted your spirit, it has all been part of this divine weaving. If this voice, this flow, this space has met you where words were few, then know that what you are part of is not a production, it is a purpose. And if you have felt the warmth of that light, consider this: every light needs care to keep shining. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you're not feeding an algorithm, you're feeding a ministry. You're placing another log on the fire that warms souls on cold nights. Every action you take, simple, quiet, sincere, extends the reach of the message. It's like lighting another candle. The flame you pass on could become someone's first dawn after a long night. And if your heart ever feels led to give, let it come from that same warmth. Never from pressure. Think of giving as planting a tree. You may never sit beneath its shade, but countless others will. The seed leaves your hand, but it never leaves your life. It becomes part of a forest of faith that grows quietly but powerfully. When you give, you are not paying for words, you are fueling a ripple of light. The smallest act to share, a prayer, a donation, moves through unseen hearts, comforting strangers you will never meet. In heaven's ledger, generosity is never forgotten. If you've ever found yourself whispering, "This message feels like it was meant for me," then imagine being the reason someone else says the same. That's what your giving does. It turns personal blessing into communal healing. No one is asked to give out of duty, only out of delight. Let it be your way of saying, "I choose to keep this flame alive." Every like, every share, every offering becomes oil in the lamp, keeping the light steady through long nights. You are part of this unfolding story, not as a spectator, but as a co-keeper of its flame. When you support, you don't just keep messages flowing, you keep hope alive in places where silence once lived. And as you sow into what has strengthened you, something beautiful happens. The giver and the receiver become the same. The hand that gives light also becomes illuminated. That is the quiet law of heaven. What you bless returns to you, multiplied, pressed down, and overflowing. So let your support, whether through prayer, through sharing, through giving, be a whisper of love back into the river that has refreshed you. Together, we are keeping something divine in motion. One spark at a time. Chosen one. The wind is behind you, and the light before you. The season of acceleration has begun. Rise higher, and let gratitude guide your flight. Chosen one, the air feels different now. You have stepped beyond stillness, past the quiet test of waiting, into a place where faith begins to breathe on its own. The weight that once pressed down on your shoulders has turned into strength, quiet and steady. This is what happens when obedience meets endurance. The soul learns to stand without needing signs. You are learning that faith is not the absence of questions, but the persistence to walk even when answers are delayed. You have asked, "When?" Lord, and heaven has replied, "When you're ready." That readiness is now. It is no longer about waiting for conditions to change. It's about realizing that you have already been changed within them. Many think breakthrough happens outside first, but heaven always begins within. God builds the future inside your character before he builds it around your circumstances. What you once saw as silence was construction foundations being laid deep in your soul. Pillars of endurance, rising unseen beneath the surface of your life. Now the structure is strong enough to hold the weight of what is coming. You are no longer the same person who began this journey. The one who feared the unknown has been replaced by one who walks through it calmly, knowing that the unknown is where miracles grow. The Gospel of Matthew records the words of Jesus himself. Chapter 7, verse 24. Everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house upon the rock. No, that is what heaven has been doing in you, laying stone upon stone, teaching you how to build on truth, not emotion. Each trial became a tool. Each waiting period became mortar. Each tear that fell became water mixed into the cement of your faith. Now you stand on something solid. Chosen one. This is not the end of construction. It is the unveiling of what was hidden. The storms that once terrified you will now reveal how strong you have become. The winds that used to shake you will only prove your foundation secure. God's goal was never to make life easy, but to make your spirit unshakable. There is a calmness in this kind of strength. You no longer need to control outcomes. You understand that what is yours by divine design cannot be stolen. And what leaves your life was never meant to stay. This quiet confidence is not arrogance, it's alignment. It's knowing who holds your tomorrow, so you can live peacefully in your today. Every builder knows that once the foundation is finished, beauty can finally begin. Now, heaven begins to decorate your life with fulfillment. You will notice small confirmations appearing around you, conversations that connect, opportunities that find you, timing that suddenly fits. These are not coincidences. They are signs that the structure is ready for habitation. God Himself is about to dwell more visibly in what He has built in you. Still, do not rush. Even after the house is built, it takes time for the fragrance of newness to settle. Let grace fill the empty rooms before you fill them with activity. Let peace become the first guest who walks through your doors. In this stage of your journey, your task is simple yet sacred. Stay steady. Do not try to rebuild what God has already completed. And do not decorate what He has not finished. Faith is knowing when to move and when to marvel. You are entering the season of marveling, the time when you begin to see that all the pain, pressure, and pauses were working together like instruments in an unseen symphony. You will look back and realize that what felt like chaos was perfect timing in disguise. Heaven never improvises, it orchestrates. Every delay had a reason. Every silence had a sound. Every loss had a lesson. Now the music resolves, the dissonance fades into harmony, and peace takes its rightful place in your heart. Chosen one. Breathe deeply. You are not behind. You are right on time. The foundation is firm. The walls are set. The Spirit is resting upon your dwelling. From here, everything will begin to flow, not through force, but through favor. And when the next storm comes, and it will, you will not fear it. Because now you know, storms don't destroy what's built on the rock, they reveal it. Your foundation now sings beneath your feet. Faith, patience, and trust woven into one sound. What once trembled in fear now hums in quiet confidence and strength. Every storm will testify of your endurance. The winds will remember your unshakable stance. And heaven will call you steadfast. A house built by divine hands. Chosen one. The air feels holy tonight. Not loud, not restless, holy. The kind of quiet that hums with unseen motion, like heaven itself is leaning close to whisper again. You've walked through waiting, through silence, through stillness, and now the whisper becomes a summons. Heaven is calling your spirit to rise higher, to awaken the fire that has been sleeping under ashes of fatigue. You can feel it, can't you? The spark returning, the gentle pull of purpose, stirring your bones, reminding you that obedience was never meant to end in exhaustion. It was meant to end in ignition. This is what happens when the waiting season fulfills its purpose. Rest becomes readiness. You are not stepping into just another day. You are stepping into activation. The same power that raised Christ from the grave is stirring within you. The same breath that hovered over the void at creation now breathes over your calling. What was still begins to move again. What was silent begins to sing. The psalmist sang long ago. Chapter 2, verse 3. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in him. Then, this is what heaven is doing for you. Now, placing a new song, a fresh sound, a divine melody in your spirit. The song of despair is fading. The rhythm of destiny is rising. And this song is not made of words, it's made of willingness. Heaven is not asking for perfection. It is asking for participation. God can fill only what you offer him. You don't need to have it all together. You just need to lift your hands and say, "Here I am." That small surrender becomes the doorway through which glory walks in. Chosen one. You are entering the phase where faith becomes fire. The waiting made you deep. Now obedience will make you luminous. Everything around you may look the same, but something inside you has changed permanently. You are no longer surviving. You are carrying atmosphere. When you walk into a room, peace will come with you. When you speak, clarity will follow. When you move, heaven will move. But hear this truth with reverence. Activation always comes with accountability. The light that shines also exposes. God will now call you to guard your focus with even greater care, not because he is restricting you, but because he is refining you. The purer the flame, the clearer its glow. You will feel this refining as inner nudges, gentle convictions that whisper, "Not this way anymore." Do not resist them. They are signs of maturity. The Spirit is aligning you with your purpose so that your light does not flicker in the wind of compromise. In this phase, your words carry more weight. What you declare begins to shape what unfolds. That is why heaven is careful with who it gives authority to, because authority without humility becomes destruction. But you have been prepared in silence, refined in waiting, and now heaven trusts your mouth to speak with precision. And so, heaven gives you a prophetic act to seal this moment of activation. Comment 555 below. Type it not as routine, but as covenant. The number 555 symbolizes divine grace, multiplied grace for your calling, grace for your steps, grace for your future. Each 5 represents a layer of transformation, 1 for the release from the past, 1 for the renewal of your purpose, and 1 for the unfolding of your destiny. When you write it, you are declaring, "I receive grace for this new phase." It is not a number of luck, it is a number of living movement, grace expanding, overflowing, overtaking every dry place in your spirit. Heaven reads that number as a signature, your consent to walk in the authority already assigned to you. When you declare 555, you are not hoping, you are aligning. You are saying to creation, "I am ready to walk in what God has already written." No, chosen one. This is your awakening. The season of hiding is over. The voice that once whispered now thunders, "Rise." No, the angels who once stood still now move again, taking their places beside you. The path that once looked closed begins to unfold like a scroll. You were not waiting for permission, you were waiting for timing. And the time is now. Let your spirit rise with the rhythm of heaven's heartbeat. Let your obedience speak louder than fear. You are not walking toward the light, you are carrying it. And as you do, darkness loses its grip wherever you go. So lift your eyes, steady your heart, and breathe deeply. Grace is moving, faith is rising, and the fire of purpose burns again. Write it, speak it, live it. 555. For heaven has marked this as your moment of divine activation. Chosen one. There is a calm after activation that feels almost unreal. It is not the silence of emptiness, but the hush that follows divine motion. You can feel it now, the steady pulse of peace where chaos once lived. You are no longer waiting for something to happen. You are walking in what has already begun. Heaven is not rushing, it is arranging. The ground beneath you is steady because the spirit within you has settled. You have learned the language of obedience, the rhythm of surrender, and the melody of trust. This is the point where faith no longer shouts, it simply breathes. You don't have to convince heaven anymore, you are in sync with it. The weight of worry that once pressed you down has transformed into the weight of glory that anchors you. The scriptures reveal in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, works for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. That verse is not a poetic comfort, it is a spiritual equation. Every hardship you endured is now being converted into strength. What once felt unbearable has become unshakable. The tears that fell in silence were not wasted. They watered the roots of your endurance. Heaven records every drop, every sigh, every breath that carried faith through fatigue. Chosen one. This is the secret most never understand. Glory is heavy. It presses before it lifts. It humbles before it honors. And now, as the presence of God deepens in your life, you feel both the beauty and the burden of carrying light. It is not always easy to hold revelation in a world that prefers darkness. But you were not created to hide. You were created to shine. Still, shining does not mean striving. The light within you is not forced. It flows. You are like a lamp, finally connected to its source, glowing naturally, effortlessly. This is what happens when alignment replaces anxiety. You no longer chase outcomes, you attract them by simply remaining in divine order. You may notice that certain people no longer understand you. Some will drift quietly. Unable to grasp the frequency you now walk in. Do not mourn those absences. They are part of the purification of purpose. Oil cannot mix with dust. The higher you rise, the fewer will rise with you, but those who remain are chosen for this chapter. God is refining your circle, not to isolate you, but to insulate you. The people He places near you in this season are not random. They are instruments of reinforcement. Some will water what you plant, others will protect what you carry. Each connection is a divine appointment meant to strengthen the structure of your next level. This is a season where discernment becomes your compass. Not every good opportunity is a God opportunity. Learn to pause before you agree, to listen before you act. Heaven's rhythm often moves slower than the world's noise, but it always arrives right on time. Chosen one. The reward of obedience is not comfort, it's clarity. And clarity is the true currency of the kingdom. When your spirit is clear, decisions no longer drain you. You will sense direction without needing signs. That is the evidence that maturity has come. You walk by intuition, born from intimacy. In this place, prayer changes tone. It is no longer desperate pleading. It becomes deep conversation. You speak, and heaven responds in waves of understanding rather than words. The more you abide, the less you strive. You begin to see life not as a battlefield alone, but as a dialogue between the Creator and creation. Heaven delights in your steadiness. The Father watches as you stand firm where you once trembled. The Spirit within you smiles, for you finally understand that peace is not found in the absence of storms, it is found in the presence of trust. You are being invited to live not as a survivor, but as a steward. What God placed in your hands, your gifts, your calling, your voice are not random. They are assignments dressed as abilities. To steward them well is to honor the one who entrusted them. Chosen one. Remember this always. Light attracts resistance, but resistance sharpens radiance. Do not be surprised when pressure returns. It will only polish what is already shining. You are a vessel carrying glory, and vessels must remain tested to remain pure. Breathe deeply again. The air you're breathing now is not ordinary. Its atmosphere charged with destiny. Every inhale reminds you that God still trusts you to carry His presence into the ordinary corners of the world. The afflictions were temporary. The glory is eternal. The waiting was a season. The wisdom you carry is forever. Walk forward with grace. You are not just experiencing blessing, you are becoming one, chosen one. The days ahead stretch like a calm horizon, glowing softly after a storm. You can feel it, the quiet satisfaction of one who has endured and been refined. This peace is not borrowed, it is earned. It was bought through nights of uncertainty and mornings of obedience. You did not arrive here by accident, you were carried here by grace. In this season, heaven begins to teach you something deeper, the rhythm of divine wisdom. You have learned how to wait, how to act, how to stand, but now you must learn how to discern. Wisdom is not just knowledge, it is sight. It lets you see what others overlook and feel what others dismiss. It is the whisper that says, "Not this time," or "Yes, now." And the Spirit declares through the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 2, "Let my teaching fall like rain, and my words descend like dew, like showers on new grass, like abundant rain on tender plants." That is what wisdom feels like. It doesn't strike, it settles. It seeps quietly into the roots of your spirit, making you grow without noise. You do not always notice wisdom entering, but you always notice its absence. It guards you from mistakes that would drain your strength and leads you toward paths that multiply your peace. Wisdom is not always spectacular, it is often subtle. It does not always shout, but it never lies. When it speaks, listen carefully. It might sound like hesitation, but it's actually heaven holding your hand. God uses wisdom to protect His chosen ones from battles that look like opportunities. In this stage, discernment becomes your most valuable treasure. You will find that every decision carries weight. Every conversation, a seed. Every silence, a test. The Spirit will begin to reveal layers beneath moments, teaching you how to read hearts instead of faces, how to sense truth beneath words, how to hear heaven's tone beneath human noise. Wisdom is more than spiritual insight. It is emotional discipline. It keeps you calm in chaos, quiet in offense, humble in success. It stops you from answering when pride tries to speak. It teaches you when to build bridges and when to guard borders. Without wisdom, blessings can turn into burdens. With it, even small things bloom beautifully. Chosen one. You will notice that the more you grow in wisdom, the less you need to explain yourself. You will speak less but mean more. You will react slower but respond stronger. You will realize that silence is not weakness, it's strategy. The wise do not waste energy proving truth. They let time reveal it. God is shaping you into someone who lives not by reaction, but by revelation. Your words will begin to carry weight, not because they are loud, but because they are layered with discernment. Heaven trusts the wise with secrets that it cannot give the reckless. That is why your quiet seasons matter. They taught you restraint. The first sign of true wisdom. Wisdom does not make you distant, it makes you deliberate. You will start choosing peace over attention, purpose over popularity, and alignment over applause. Every choice you make from this posture becomes prophetic. Heaven moves with those who decide slowly but act surely. Even your mistakes have now become teachers. You will look back and realize that some of the hardest lessons were wisdom's earliest seeds. Pain became your professor, failure your tutor, humility your graduation, and the diploma heaven handed you was discernment. Now, as you step forward, you are not walking as a student anymore. You are walking as one who carries counsel. Others will come to you for clarity, drawn not to your answers, but to your calm. You will be a mirror that reflects God's peace, a voice that carries direction without demand. Chosen one. Wisdom will also teach you how to rest. There is no wisdom in endless striving. The wise know when to step back and let God finish what He began. You are learning that maturity is not in constant movement, it is in trustful stillness. As you live in this balance, heaven will continue to expand your influence quietly, not through noise, but through depth. People will notice that something about you feels different. They will sense heaven's peace before they hear your words. That is the mark of wisdom. It speaks before it speaks. So, walk gently, speak softly, and act intentionally. You are no longer learning from wisdom, you are becoming its vessel. And as you carry it, remember this truth. Wisdom is not a crown you wear, it is a fragrance you release. Those who walk near you will breathe it in and find rest. Chosen one. You've come a long way. The winds that once tore through your spirit have calmed, and what remains is something steady, golden, and pure. You can feel it, the quiet weight of maturity resting on you like sunlight through morning mist. Heaven has walked you through every layer of becoming, waiting, obedience, activation, wisdom, and now your soul breathes peace. You've learned to live not by reaction, but by revelation. You no longer rush to prove yourself or beg for understanding. You move gently, knowing that what's yours will never miss you. This is what grace looks like when it matures. It stops shouting and starts shining. As the ancient words in Proverbs remind us, chapter 11, verse 25, a generous soul will prosper, and whoever refreshes others will himself be refreshed. That verse does not speak only of giving, it speaks of flow. Heaven never meant for blessings to pool, they were designed to pass through. A river stays alive because it moves. A soul stays alive because it gives. What you release from your heart never truly leaves you. It travels in circles of light and returns multiplied. You see, there is a beauty in participation. The moment you receive something sacred, you also become its guardian. Every word that has healed you, every message that found you in silence, it was never meant to end with you. Heaven writes truth, not on screens, but on souls. And every time one heart passes that light to another, the glow spreads further into the dark. That is why this space exists, a meeting place between your heart and the voice of heaven. And if something within these words has stirred your faith, lifted your spirit, or helped you feel seen, then know this: you are already part of the light. Now, imagine this message as a lantern. It burns steadily, softly, glowing against the night. When you like, when you share, when you comment, when you subscribe, it's as if you're placing another lantern beside it. Together, they create a constellation of light that others can follow when the road feels dim. Your simply actions, quiet, unseen, carry enormous power. Every click, every share, every word of encouragement is a ripple across eternity. They don't just support a message, they sustain a ministry of hope. And if one day your heart feels a gentle nudge to give, let it be an act of beauty, not obligation. Think of it like watering a garden whose fruit has already fed you. You're not paying for what you've received. You're ensuring that others can taste it too. Your giving, however small, becomes oil in a lamp, a whisper saying, "Keep the fire alive." It could be one coin, one seed, one prayer. It all becomes fragrance in heaven. You may never know the face of the one your gift will reach, but heaven will show you one day. The eyes that found peace, the heart that found direction, the life that found light. You are never forced to give, only invited. Heaven never compels, it calls. When giving flows from gratitude, it becomes worship, and worship, in any form, opens floodgates. Perhaps you have already given your time, your attention, your prayers. All of it matters. Each gesture is a spark that keeps this movement breathing. The more sparks there are, the stronger the flame grows, stretching its warmth into more hearts, more homes, more hidden corners. So, when you like, it's a nod to heaven saying, "I see you in this." End of. When you share, it's your hand reaching into someone else's storm with light. When you comment, it's your voice joining a chorus of faith. When you subscribe, it's a promise to stay connected to this river of words that has refreshed you. And when you give, it's the most beautiful echo of gratitude, a reminder that your blessing is alive enough to bless again. This, chosen one, is not about transaction, it's about transformation. It's about being part of a tapestry of light that heaven keeps weaving through willing hearts. You are that tapestry. You are the golden thread that holds the pattern together. Every gesture you make, small or great, adds a stroke of brilliance to the portrait God is painting through this message. So, let your support flow naturally, like wind through chimes, soft, free, and full of grace. Let it sound like worship, not obligation. The beauty of voluntary giving is that it leaves no debt, only delight. And as you act, as you give, as you stay, remember, every flame you keep burning here becomes a reflection of your own. For in keeping this light alive, you are proving that yours still shines. Chosen one. You can sense it now, the rhythm of momentum pulsing in your spirit. The world around you may seem unchanged, but within, everything is moving with divine synchronization. You walk differently, not faster, but steadier. What once felt like random events now align like constellations. Each star in your story finding its place in heaven's design. You are living proof that grace multiplies through endurance. The same roads that once broke you are now the paths you walk with authority. The pain that once made you question God is now the testimony that reveals Him. You have not just survived your wilderness, you've mapped it. Others will find their way out because you dared to walk through first. The sacred texts of Romans still echo today. Chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good, to them that love God, to them who are called according to His purpose. Those words were not written as comfort alone. They are a law of divine motion. Everything you have endured, every delay, every detour, has been converging toward this moment. The pieces that once seemed broken are assembling into purpose. You are beginning to see what heaven has seen all along. There was never wasted pain, only hidden purpose. Momentum is not about speed, it's about consistency. Heaven does not rush, it builds. The Spirit is teaching you to move like rivers do, not hurried, yet impossible to stop. A river doesn't apologize for its flow, and neither should you. You've been equipped with clarity, conviction, and calm authority. Now, the current of destiny carries you forward, not through striving, but through surrender. Chosen one. This is what divine maturity feels like, the still power of knowing who you are and who walks beside you. You don't have to chase validation anymore. Favor now follows you. You don't have to fight for space. Heaven makes room for you. The energy that once leaked through worry is now being transformed into creative fire. You will notice ideas returning, dreams reawakening, and courage settling deep into your bones. You have entered what the angels call the mantle of momentum. It is an anointing that keeps you moving even when you don't feel strong. Heaven's hand becomes the wind behind your steps. Even when you pause, purpose continues to propel you. The enemy cannot stop you anymore because your strength no longer depends on circumstances. It depends on connection. This is the power of staying anchored in the Spirit. You have learned that consistency is not about constant activity, but about constant alignment. You do not have to do everything, only what heaven breathes upon. When you act under that breath, small efforts produce eternal results. You may not see the full measure of fruit yet, but momentum often begins unseen. Seeds grow downward before they rise upward. You are in that sacred phase where roots deepen quietly while branches prepare to stretch. Don't mistake the quiet for stagnation. It is the hum of divine expansion beneath the surface. Chosen one. Momentum is holy stewardship. It's choosing not to give up after success. Just as you didn't give up in struggle, it's remaining faithful when it would be easier to coast. The same Spirit that sustained you through scarcity will sustain you through abundance. Heaven wants to see if you will handle triumph with the same humility you showed in trial. Remember this truth: humility and momentum are companions. The humble heart never loses speed because it refuses to carry pride's heavy weight. Pride trips runners, humility steadies them. That's why heaven accelerates those who stay low. It's easier to guide a bowed head than a lifted ego. Now, as you move forward, do not forget what the journey has taught you. The wounds you once hid are now your credentials of compassion. The battles you thought broke you have turned into lessons that equip you to lift others. You are no longer walking for yourself. You are walking for everyone connected to your obedience. Momentum means movement, but it also means multiplication. What flows from you now will ripple far beyond what you can measure. Your words, your kindness, your courage, all of it becomes seed. Heaven watches over every act done in love and multiplies it until it returns to you, pressed down and overflowing. So walk boldly. Chosen one, the Spirit that began this work in you will not let it fade. You are no longer starting over, you are building higher. Each step forward is confirmation that heaven's plan never failed, only unfolded. The river within you runs strong now. It knows where it's going. You don't need to push it, just stay in the flow. What once resisted you will now assist you. The season of strain has become the season of ease. You are carried, not chasing. You are gliding, not grasping. You are living, not surviving. This is the holy ease of divine momentum, the calm speed of destiny fulfilled. Chosen one, the path glows softly beneath your feet. Now, the journey that began in trembling has turned into a walk of quiet confidence. The dust of your past no longer clings to you. It has become the proof of where you have walked. You are standing in the fulfillment of what heaven promised long before you even knew to ask for it. The air feels weightless around you, as if creation itself has exhaled. This is not the end of your story. It is the unveiling of what the waiting, the breaking, and the believing have built within you. You are no longer searching for confirmation. You are carrying it. Heaven's mark rests on you, silent but unmistakable. The voice of God thundered in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8. I have set before you an open door which no one can shut. For you have kept my word and have not denied my name. End quote. That is your declaration now. The door stands open, not just before you, but within you. It is the door of purpose, of peace, of promise. You do not need to push it. You simply walk through. The key that once seemed lost was never missing. It was forged in every act of obedience. Chosen one. You have become the evidence of God's faithfulness. You are living proof that no season is wasted when placed in His hands. Every tear, every prayer, every lonely night has been folded into the masterpiece of your becoming. You were never abandoned. You were being arranged. The crown you wear now is not made of gold, but of endurance. It shines through the way you love, the way you speak, the way you carry peace in places that still tremble. You are a living sanctuary, a vessel carrying the quiet glory of one who has walked with God. This is what it means to be chosen, not to be exalted above others, but to be entrusted with compassion. Your scars have become lanterns for those still lost in darkness. You carry light not by trying to shine, but by refusing to hide. Chosen one, heaven is not finished with you. It is flowing through you. You are now a continuation of the message, the living echo of divine love. You have become what the journey was always meant to produce, a vessel ready to pour. You are not meant to sit still at the end of this revelation. You are meant to carry it outward, to let it shape your actions, your words, your presence. Every conversation becomes a chance to extend peace, every act of kindness, a sermon without sound. You are not called to perfection, only to persistence. When the next challenge rises, you will meet it with grace instead of fear. When silence returns, you will recognize it as sacred rest, not absence. When storms come again, and they will, you will remember that waves are just water bowing before the wind. Heaven has written your name on this season. The door stands open, and the light pouring through it is not blinding, it's beckoning. Step through gently. You don't have to run anymore. The promise is not ahead of you, it's within you. The reward of obedience is not applause, it is awareness. You are aware now of how closely heaven walks with you. You see God not only in miracles but in mornings, not only in victories but in the quiet courage of simply continuing. Chosen one, your journey has not made you harder, it has made you holy. The same world that once wounded, you will soon witness your restoration. Not loud, not grand, but undeniable. That is how heaven works. Quiet power, lasting impact. And when others ask how you survived, how you kept believing, how you still radiate peace, you will smile softly and say, because I never walked alone. This is your coronation. Though there are no trumpets, the light itself bends toward you, recognizing the glow of endurance, the reflection of divine love. Walk forward with your crown of obedience, not as a ruler, but as a reminder. You are proof that grace wins. You stand as living testimony that obedience is never wasted. Every unseen choice, every whispered yes, has written eternity's fingerprints across your life, marking you as heaven's trusted vessel. The crown you carry glows quietly, not from gold, but from grace. Its light tells the story of endurance, reminding creation that faith never fails to bloom. Now you walk onward, steady and luminous. Every step echoes divine rhythm. Every breath hums with promise. The journey continues. But this time you move as victory itself. Chosen one. If these words have found you, if somewhere within this message your spirit has stirred, then this was meant for you. Every line, every pause, every whisper has been heaven reaching toward your heart. You are not at the end. You are standing at a threshold. This moment is a bridge between revelation and reality. As you step forward, carry the peace you found here into your world. Let it move through your hands, your voice, your presence. The light that found you is not meant to stay within you, it is meant to travel. And if this message has reminded you of who you are, then help the echo continue. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you are not feeding numbers, you are feeding hope. Each like becomes a small flame. Each share a wind that carries it farther. Each subscription a vow to keep the fire alive. If your heart feels it, leave a comment. Even a few words can be a seed of light to someone scrolling in silence. You may never know whose spirit will rise because of what you wrote, but heaven will. And if ever you feel led to give, let it be a quiet act of gratitude, not duty. Think of it as placing another drop of oil into a lamp already burning, or sending a ripple across a still lake that keeps moving long after your hand withdraws. Your kindness sustains the flame, allowing these words to keep finding hearts that still search for warmth. So walk forward. Luminous, Soul. Keep this light alive in the simplest ways. One like, one share, one kind word, One gentle gift. Every gesture, no matter how small, becomes part of the greater constellation of faith that keeps the world from going dark. Thank you for walking this journey to its end, where endings become beginnings and listeners become torchbearers.